Hey there. This just came to me to communicate this. Um, when when I experience things from my own heart and my soul, and then I'm processing that, right? And when I'm processing something which really has everything to do with holographic architecture, if you will, what we experience and the rate of speed at which we're experiencing who we are at the etheric atomic matter level, right, of a hologram, if you will. And the importance right now of maintaining your balance right between the two poles, being still, the still point, you know, and an important distinction that I was going to mention because I'll just give you an example by virtue of how I've lived my life, and I'll just use the last couple of years as an example, right? I don't spend a lot of electrons. As a matter of fact, I use the least amount of electrons that I can use in order to do the work that I do, including healing myself. Now, there's a very specific reason why that is, because it has everything to do with the electron exchange and the torque speed differential and a hologram. So, for example, the most important thing naturally was to be in a state of peace. We're all in a state of peace, which means we're co-creating together what we both experience together, the speed at which change is taking place in a positive direction. Okay, so that we're all healing with each other, right? Because our vibration is rising, which means we're experiencing more light, which means we're experiencing more love that is going through the servers of every one of us that is connected to the servers. So we're experiencing more what we remember what we are, which is what love is, that goes on forever, gifting electrons. So when you measure that with inverters, it's important to remember, for example, I'm not going to give a lot of my electrons to the inverters. Because what do the inverters do? They use the electrons that they get out of our soul's energy and then use that as a source of energy to do what? Research and technology. Okay? I mean, this is pretty simple stuff, but you realize that without us, they don't exist. Because what are they feeding on? Electrons. So the more that we're using our electrons that is being transferred to them, that increases the size of their formation of consciousness that is going in another direction. Because they use their electrons for what they do with their energy that is not the same as what we do with our energy, because we're the accelerators, we're the electron donors. Right? And so for me, increasing my speed in matter speed, in atomic speed, right, is the things that we know how to do within our own heart and soul without having to give others electrons through the system by giving those electrons to those that are the inverters that are producing the things that we thus receive through the mail or through the post office, through UPS, etc., that we now hold in memory and then use those technology devices, or as the elements would go, whether it's essential oils, whether it's a wand, or whatever it happens to be, that is like an adjunct or an augmentation that helps facilitate our healing process through that technology, right? So you're not going to see me, for example, going out when I unplugged and did a full phosphoignition, which means that's full sensory activation. I'm done. Then I am not going to share, and I'm going to use the least amount of my energy, which is my consciousness, right, to experience the reality programs that are programmed in the unconscious memory, which is the RAM, which is cellular memory, the planetary cellular memory, right? It's like, I don't want to experience this reality anymore. I'm done. It's against the law. Okay, so love is the law is a standard, so it's no longer negotiable. So what are we negotiating in? Electrons. See, so for every electron that I'm giving them, I'm giving the enemy money. And what does that mean? It means I'm being held captive by the enemy. And it means I'm actually serving on behalf of the enemy. Because those electrons are going to be used against what? Me, you, all of us. All you have to do is look at the industrial war machine complex. Everything that Eisenhower came out with and talked about, everyone from Litton Corporation to Lockheed, Boeing, Skunk Works, Raytheon, all those folks. Everything's listed on the ACIO. that identifies what these folks do with their energy. Where are they getting all the energy to do what they do? They got to pay all these batteries, right? Where are they getting the electrons to pay these folks in a number? Us. Because without us, they don't exist. Right? So in other words, what it means is shields up means you're not getting any more of my energy. I'm not running your programs anymore. Right? And so what happens when more shields are up and they're knocking on the door to get those electrons, get that energy, woo, now it's going to begin to start running on its reserves, its own fuel tank. So eventually what happens? It runs out of gas. You got to burn the gas, right? Tetrahedron, right? Go from 3 to 4, the fire triangle, right? The fire tetrahedron. 4 square crystal cathedral, Gaia Sophia. Have a great day. We love you all. Be good to yourselves.